Hi guys, welcome to my channel Fabric and BI Element, and in this video I want to showcase my findings on Dataflow Gen 1 and Gen 2. So I'll start with demonstrating the situation here. So in this Fabric workspace I have this lake house in which I have two tables which has yellow taxi trip data of 2021 and 2017, and in each of this table I have 30 million rows, and in another table I have 130 million of rows. So now what I did was I built a Dataflow Gen 1 which is connected to that lake house via SQL endpoint, and we'll wait just for it to open. And if I show you the connection, this is connecting via the SQL endpoint connection URL of that lake house, and both tables are using the same connection. And I have built another data flow, which is Dataflow Gen 2, which is connected via the same lakehouse using the same SQL endpoint. So it's using the same connection URL, and both tables are there. And what I also did, I have built another Dataflow Gen 2, which is connected to the same lake house using the one lake connection. So if I open that, so this is connected by the to the lake house using the one lake connection. So you can use this one lake catalog, and this is my lake house. And if I click here and connect, then I will see all my tables, but I don't need that. I can cross that. So now what I did was on these three data flows, which is Dataflow Gen 1 connected by the SQL endpoint, Dataflow Gen 2 connected by the same SQL endpoint, and this is Dataflow Gen 3 connected to the lake house using the one lake connection. So I let them refresh for few days, and what I observed was, so this is the refresh history. So if I go to my refresh history of Dataflow Gen 1, what I observed that on both those table which has 30 million rows and 130 million rows, it is taking approx 1 hour 16 minutes to get completed, right? And on the on the second data flow, which is Dataflow Gen 2 connected with SQL endpoint, it was taking approx 55 minutes to refresh, and you can see this is the history of the refreshes. And now here's the interesting thing. So when I connected the Dataflow Gen 2 with the same lakehouse using the one lake connection, and I let it refresh for few days, I observed that it was taking significantly less time. Like you can see, it is taking approx 3 minutes for uh, for transforming all the rows. And you can see, and I also make sure that the transformation which I am doing here, like this is the change type transformation, and this is happening outside the source, and I did the same transformation on all the data flows so that the condition or the environment on all the situations in the data flow should be the same. So you can see, so what I also was this, when we are connecting the lake house with Dataflow Gen 2 with using one link connection, and to transform that rows, it is taking approx 3 minutes, which is significantly lesser than what we are seeing here. And to step a bit further, And to dig more down into this, what I did was I have built the semantic models on top of these three data flows. So if you can see here, I have built this three semantic models. So this one is connected with this data flow chain 1, and this semantic model is connected with this data flow chain 2, and this semantic model is connected with this data flow chain 2, which is connected by a one lake, right? So, and if I show you the refresh history of this, you can see the semantic model connected to the data flow chain 1 to the SQL endpoint is taking approx 1 hour. So this is the start end time and this is the end time. And the semantic model which is connected to the SQL and data flow chain 2 connected to the SQL endpoint, it's taking approx 25 minutes. And the semantic model which is connected to the data flow chain 2 connected to the one lake is taking approx 25 minutes. So as you can see, these both conditions are the same because these both are connected to the data flow chain 2, right? And the last thing, it is connected to the SQL endpoint and is connected to the one lake. This doesn't matter for the semantic model because it is taking the data from the data flow chain 2. So it is obvious that the refresh time will be the same, right? So at the conclusion, what we can see is when we are connecting the lakehouse through SQL data flow chain 1 via SQL endpoint to transform 130 million plus approx 160 million of rows, it is taking approx 1 hour of 10 minutes, right? And to transform the same number of rows via data flow chain 2 through SQL endpoint, it is taking approx 55 minutes. And you can see the data flow chain 2 connected to the same lake house via one lake is taking approx 3 minutes. And these are the same refresh time for their respective semantic models. And I also made sure that all the semantic models a table should be in import mode. So as you can see, this is the report connected to the data flow chain 1. It is in import mode and it is also in import mode. So if I show you that this is report connected to the chain 2, it is also in import mode, and this is also in import mode. And if I show you this table which is connected to the data flow chain 2 which is connected to the one lake house via one lake, it is also in import mode. It's also in import mode. So this is not the recommendation, but I'm seeing a pattern here. So if there is situation that you want to use data flow on the top of a lake house to get the data into your report, and if the table is large, so by seeing these numbers one can use data flow chain 2 and it might be helpful for them. So we can give a try if someone needs to connect their need the data from one lake house and right now they are using data flow chain 1 and it is taking too much of time. So they can try with the data flow chain 2 connected via one lake, and then the same report connected to that data flow chain 2 might help them. So that's all on this video, and if you have any feedback and comment queries, just comment down below and I will comment response to that.